back, OIG, to another exciting episode in our AMA series. Today, we had the privilege of speaking with Roy Yin, who is the head of marketing at T Project. T Project aims to bring decentralization to cloud computing and open up a whole new world of possibilities when it comes to decentralized apps running at full speed. Remember, if you like the content, subscribe, hit the bell notification button, and smash the like button to stay up to date with all the things coming out of OIG. Without further ado, let's jump straight into the AMA. Well, folks, we're happy to sit down today with Roy from T Project. Roy, welcome to the show. It's great to have you. Could you tell us a little about yourself and how you got involved with T Project?
Yeah, thanks, Romeo, for having me here. Myself, I actually joined the T Project in about a month ago. Prior to that, I have been working in telco industry for 10 plus years. Basically, I worked for Apple, BlackBerry, and Xiaomi to as a go-to-market executive for their smartphone launches.
Wow.
And after that, I joined a few startups focused on the healthcare and AI, new technologies, and yeah. So that's about it before I joined T Project.
Wow. No, I
Yeah.
mean, you said that's about it, but that sounds like a lot to unwrap there. But really, really cool that you have that much experience in the field. So I guess let's just dive into it. What is T Project?
Well, a T Project, you can imagine it as decentralized cloud computing, or to make sense of it, you can say that a decentralized version of Amazon Cloud or Google Cloud.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, and that's obviously something we use today, but not in a decentralized model, right? And
Right.
how does the introduction of the decentralization to cloud computing change the industry? What does T Project aim to bring to the blockchain world?
So I think that we can explain two perspectives. One is from the internet, and another one is from blockchain. Because actually, uh, uh, T-Prog is an infrastructure layer of the three-layer structure. The internet, we all know that we all been through the Web3 stage. So we all know that the limitation of the Web3, sorry, Web2. Um, in Web2, that the big companies amass a lot of user data and content, so they make money, make a lot of money off it because of the network effect. However, these are centralized, and it created a lot of censorship issues. And since it's centralized, it has the risk of one company has too much power to control the internet. So that's not something that I think as a internet user we want to see. So that's one. Second, from the perspective of blockchain, um, blockchain is of course fully decentralized, but it has their limitation with its speed of computing, and it also has its another issue is the very high gas cost,
Yeah.
gas fee, right? So that's where we think that a T project can help in this Web3 space to help solve this problem. We can offer that the cloud computing without the cost of centralization. We basically handle the decentralization portion for the applications and users.
And it's also good to know, you offer cloud computing without the compromise of, your metadata being sold across the internet, right?
Right.
That's a big deal, and that's one of the big uh, push pushes in the blockchain narrative. The fact that we have ownership on certain aspects of the web that we didn't have in Web 2.0. So
Yeah.
very, very, very good points there. So could you maybe talk about a little more how it works exactly. How does it achieve this?
Yeah, sure. I guess I don't want to dive into very technical details, but I can use a story maybe to make sense for you and the audience.
Hmm.
So let's say for imagine that we have a building where it has two floors. In the for the first scenario is only the blockchain. The blockchain scenario, there are a bunch of workers who are tasked to calculate a steady stream of transactions. At the same time, they will need to maintain a ledger because these workers, they don't know each other and they cannot trust each other. So the only way for them to accept the transactions result is for them to calculate, each of them to calculate for each transaction. So as you can see that I think everybody knows that it's super inefficient to handle the transaction that way. Now, in recent years, that there has been some improvement, which is the layer two solutions, uh, normally referred as roll ups, right? So in the roll up scenario, that the workers has been divided into two groups. One group has been sent up to the second floor, which is layer two, and they will handle or they will calculate the transactions in the layer two or the second floor. Then once they get the summary of the batch of the transaction they are handling, they send back the summary result to the layer one, to the first floor. And then the first floor workers will take that summary, and still they need to calculate the not calculate the result, but they were using for example, the zero knowledge proof um, algorithm to make sure that the result is acceptable. And this way is also because the algorithm is super complicated and it takes a lot of computing capacity.
Hmm.
So even though it improved a lot compared to the pure layer one blockchain, but it still consumes a lot of time and capacity, which is still expensive for the user,
Yeah.
right? Then in our scenario, for the T project, we still handle it in layer one, layer two structure, but we give this worker at second floor a special calculator. This this calculator does two things. It knows that its peer calculator, whether they are tempered. Second is that this calculator knows that whether when the worker key in the numbers, they know that whether the number is correct or not.
So very interesting. What would you say is the features that T Project will offer that really differentiates itself from the competition? I mean, decentralized cloud computing is becoming a very popular narrative, and there's sure to be competition uh, for you. So yeah, how do you differentiate yourselves from the competition?
Okay, so I think there are a couple of types of competitors. One is the Web2 big brothers like Google Cloud and Amazon Cloud, right? So obviously, compared to those centralized cloud computing services, we are decentralized. So that's our key differences. And when it comes to the Web3 space, we also have some competitors, um, or not so much of competitor, but we try to achieve the same goal to provide the decentralized cloud computing. But our technical route is quite different. For example, there's this project called Definitive.
Yeah.
And they are trying to achieve the decentralized cloud computing just as us. However, their way of doing that is to use the software algorithm to solve this problem.
Mm.
So they are using a very complicated algorithm for the zero knowledge proof. Um, that that algorithm consumes so many computing capacity. It comes to the point that probably only a few organizations can afford the hardware that can run the algorithm. And since we're handling the decentralization, so if only a few of them can handle, can host this kind of algorithm, then it defeats its purpose, right?
Mm-hmm.
And as to T project, our mining with T project is actually very low cost. For example, when we were running the testnet, um, the the miners in our mining contest only need to rent cloud service for, at the cost of like $10 per month. So
Wow.
it's very affordable. Yeah, and it's in our design that once we launched our mainnet, your home household like IoT devices could do the mining as well. So that in that way we wanted to achieve the truly decentralized, like the many nodes.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's the true decentralization that we believe in.
Really cool stuff, and quite a future to look forward to. And really anything can be used as a mining platform to a certain extent, right?
Yeah.
With regards to decentralized cloud computing, and it's good to explain, like you mentioned, the differences between, uh, how some other projects use software algorithms to solve this issue, and others like yourself use more decentralized approach. So very very cool stuff. Obviously, with a robust network and platform like T Project, you would need to have an accompanying native token to accomplish some of the features within that. So, what utility does the native token bring to the ecosystem of T Project?
Mm. Okay. Yeah. So we in T project we have T token is which is a utility token, and its value actually is pegged to the computing power
Mm-hmm.
or the computing capacity. So that's the I think that's the connection between the T token and the real world, because at the minimum that you can make sure that the T token worth certain computing power. Yeah. So I think that we can because in our ecosystem there are three type of users that will be using T tokens. I think we can go through them one by one. The first one obviously is miner. They will set up the mining machine and um, get rewarded for providing the public testing services. Also get rewarded for hosting decentralized application. And the developers, and if they wanted to have one of the node or a mining machine to host their application, they will need to pay the miner uh, for for the services. So that's another way for using T token. And as a consumer, if you wanted to use some of the decent D app running on T project, you will need to pay the dApp developer T token to be able to consume their to be able to use their apps. So that's basically how T token is used. And of course, there's more. For example, if you see some dApp is doing really well, that you foresee that it will have a lot of growth, then you probably wanted to buy some share of this, like a company share of this app, and so it also gives you the investment opportunities you can get profit from. Yeah. So again, it's an ecosystem. So there are a lot of cases that the T token is needed to really facilitate the whole ecosystem to operate. I think that I once saw that a phrase said that Web3 is a bunch of builder plus a bunch of user and orchestrated by the by the tokens.
Yeah.
So that's basically how it is. Yeah.
100%. And very, very good to see that there's many ways that the native token, interacts with the platform, and how obviously it will bring a lot of utility by, like you said, paying your miners and the cost of computing power, as well as interacting with these decentralized apps within T Project. So very, very cool stuff. Let's switch gears here and move on to our next segment here, which is our Twitter questions segment. And these are questions that were randomly selected from our announcement about a week ago. And we'll start here with question number 1. And this person asks, where will you see T Project and how will it affect the environment of the crypto space in the next few years?
Good question. I think right now, people are all saying that the current web similar to internet at early 1990s, right? So it's very hard to use, it's expensive to use, and it's not adopted by majority of the population. So I think one of the reasons is that it doesn't have a framework allow the developers to develop decentralized apps easily. So I think that that's something that a T project can help. So for a developer to deploy a decentralized app on our T project, the effort is very minimal. They don't need to learn new languages. They probably just, if they already have the app, they probably just port the app to our T project framework. They don't have to write everything from scratch.
Wow.
So these kind of things will definitely speed up the development of the Web3. So I think that that's something that we are, as a T project member, we are very proud to help out to make Web3 more accepted for peoples in the world.
Yeah, really, really moving the barrier of entry for Web3 development and accessibility, just increasing that accessibility.
Yeah.
So very cool stuff. Let's move on to question number 2 here. And this person asks, marketing is an essential element of every project, so everyone knows the potential that a project can generate. What is your strategy? What is your strategy to attract new users and investors and maintain it in the long term?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think that for any kind of a new technology, there are always early stage adopters. So there are people who like new technology and truly believe that a new technology will change our work for better. And so that's the kind of that persona that we have for our community. I think in our community, a lot of people are interested to find out that how does T project works, right? So they came with questions, and then we encourage them to participate in our testnet mining contest. So then once they get the first-hand experience of the contest, they start to make sense of it, because we have to admit that the T project involves a lot of new concepts, and it's very a lot of technology involved. So or probably new concept as well. So it does take a little bit of time for you to really make sense of it. So the best way of doing that is to go through our mining contest. Then you'll find you start to make sense. And yeah, once they make sense of it, they start to believe it, right? So then they stay in the community and continue with the mining contest, accumulating our contest prize, which will be a valuable community seeds for our, after our mainnet get launched. And by the way, that's also how we get to know our investors as well.
Mm.
All our investors has tried our testnet by going through the mining contest firsthand. So then once they tried it out, they start to believe it, and that's how we get to know our investors as well.
100%. And I think for the most part, it's the main way to get introduced to a project is to actually have some hands-on experience with it. And by having that test net and having that competition that you were or the contest you were speaking of, it really opens the doors for people to really wrap their head around what it is, T Project is bringing to the table, which is
Yes.
great. Okay, perfect. So question number 3 comes from this person here who asks, what do you consider to be superior when you compare yourself to other major blockchains? Can you evaluate T layer 2 in terms of factors such as transaction speed, gas fee, and TPS?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. We get these kind of questions a lot, but we wanted to clarify first. A T project is not a blockchain.
Hmm.
So it sits on blockchain, but it itself is not a blockchain. So we're not competing with the major blockchains. We're actually we collaborate with them to make their ecosystem more rich, right? So that's the first thing I want to clarify. Um, um, what T project does is that it's independent of the layer one blockchains. That means that it's very developer friendly. Imagine you are one developer, you develop one app, a centralized app. Then you don't have to worry about to port for different blockchains. If the T project is completely support multiple blockchains. So that basically means that you tap into a ecosystem without boundary, right? So that could be that could save a lot of effort from a developer. Yeah, and from the blockchain, the major blockchain perspective, because their execution speed and because of their the cost of gas fee, I think that they probably will lose a lot of potential customers.
Yeah.
Those potential customers will not be served in the current setting, right? So if they offload some computing task to T project, and then with the speed of the T project and the minimum cost of the T project, this portion of the user will be well served, and this will make their ecosystem much stronger. So in the gist of it, we're not competing with the major blockchain, but we are collaborating with them. And when it comes to the tech, the variables that are whether like transaction per second or so, uh, it's totally not relevant in this case because our executing speed is close to the current cloud computing. So people won't notice the there will be some slow execution speed or so. So it's like right now you're using, for example, Amazon Cloud or Google's Cloud. You wouldn't care the transaction per second because you're not gonna aware of that.
Yeah, I mean, because we're still in the very infant stages of blockchain technology in general, we really pay attention to all these factors of speed and cost because we haven't really seen the full potential of a lot of platforms, including uh, cloud computing as well. So obviously, as we go, we evolve and time will really be the ultimate telling factor in this. These aspects will start to really blend in with all the other projects achieving the same thing, and really the one that stands out is reliability and security, right?
Yeah.
And that's going to be the most important factors. So very, very well said, Roy. Thank you for answering those Twitter questions, and that ends our Twitter questions segment for this AMA. So let's just wrap up here by talking a little bit about your roadmap up to this date. What are your major accomplishments within T Project, and how does the future look for you guys?
Sure. So P project has been on testnet for almost a year,
Mhm.
and our next biggest milestone for us is our Epoch 11, also on the testnet, but it will be the independence of layer one blockchain. That feature will be fully implemented, and uh, once we have that milestone, and then we are very close to the readiness of mainnet launch, which could be early next year. So that's basically the two major milestones down the road. Yeah.
Okay. So for all our viewers watching today that want to get more of T Project, where can they go? Where can they find T Project?
Okay. We have tproject.org website, and we have social media channels like Twitter and Telegram. I think that after this, you guys can go to those channels to find us. And I think that I just want to specify one thing. The prize we provided for our Twitter questions is a bit special because normally it's US dollars, but this time we provide $100 worth of coffee token. The reason we provide that is that we really encourage an audience. If you find it interesting, you come to our um, uh, mining contest and use those copies. You can directly join the contest and start to put the mining. Um, so that's the reason that we use coffee instead of US dollars. Yeah.
Very cool, very cool. And I'm sure they can find more details of the contest on your website.
Yeah. Yeah.
Perfect. So for all our viewers and especially the winners, if you do get those coffee tokens, the next stop should be the T Project website, and all the links will be in the description below. So you'll have plenty of time to see and learn more about T Project. Well, Roy, thank you for coming over today, and it was a pleasure speaking to you. We really enjoyed speaking about the future of decentralized cloud computing, and obviously, we're very excited to see what T Project will bring to the table this year. So it was a pleasure speaking today.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Romeo. Thanks for hosting us here.
Awesome. Well, OIG family, that wraps up another episode in our AMA series. We hope you liked it. Remember, if you like the content, subscribe, hit the bell notification button, and smash that like button to stay up to date with all the stuff coming out from OIG. Until next time, we'll see you soon.